Alright guys, Joe the BigNerdyBiker here. We're going to talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which I just saw last night. Before we get started, I'm going to remind you, got the website. You can check out all our videos on it. You can go to our store. You can find shirts like this Better Choices 24 shirt, where you can tell everybody what you think about the goobers that we're doing for candidates in November. Ghostbusters came out when I was 6 years old. I fell in love with it the second I saw it. The song, the music, everything was everywhere. The cartoons when I was a kid, watched them all. Saw the second Ghostbusters, saw the 2016 Ghostbusters, discussed that in a couple minutes, and everything. On top of that, it's kind of part of it's like an adjunct to the Ghostbusters universe. There's a movie called Evolution that was an Ivan Reitman movie that I really enjoyed. I kind of consider that part of the universe, although it's never referenced in anything. But I believe, I consider it kind of part of the Ghostbusters family. With that being said, kind of Ghostbusters ranking is obviously the first movie. It's really hard to beat that. Afterlife, which made me cry at the end. I mean, so many people cried with the whole Egon scene at the end. Evolution, Ghostbusters 2, and then last is the 2016 Ghostbusters Answer the Call, which I think would have been just fine as a supernatural comedy if they didn't throw the name Ghostbusters on the front of it. Had it been a standalone movie starring Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon, I think it would have been a just fine movie, but because I had Ghostbusters expectations on it, it didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be, right? Had it just been a silly supernatural comedy, I think it would have been great, but with it being called Ghostbusters, it kind of fell on its face. What did I think of the movie? I dug it. I don't think it's the greatest of the Ghostbusters movies. It's a good way to kill an hour and a half, which is how a movie should be. Maybe it was 2 hours. But a movie should be just, I don't regret seeing it. Like I said, not the greatest of the Ghostbusters movie. Some things with it. The movie has a massive cast, right? And they end up splitting the cast up throughout the movie to have like two different things going on. There's a group that I kind of refer to as the Elder Spanglers, which is Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and Finn Wolfhard, as Gary Gruberson, Kelly Spangler, and Trevor Spangler. Then McKenna Grace as Sedivy, Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz, and Logan Kim as Podcast are kind of on their separate thing. Podcast and the character Lucky, played by Celeste O'Connor, they feel kind of wedged in the movie. That's a whole thing that I can talk about. And then we also get a character named Melody, played by Emily Allen Lynn, which I think was a great character. And I wish there wasn't so much finality on her character. I also feel like this movie is the opening of the greater world of the Ghostbusters, right? I think this is the Thor / Captain America First Avenger that opens up the bigger world, right? You know how in Thor we get Hawkeye, but he doesn't really do anything? That's kind of Patton Oswalt's character in this movie, I believe. Dr. Hubert Wiertzki. I believe that character is going to be bigger down the road in future Ghostbusters movies. And yes, I just did refer to Patton Oswalt as the Hawkeye of Ghostbusters. If he ever sees this video, which he won't, I think he will dig that. They really work the family dynamics hard in this movie, which I think is great. The personal dynamics of a movie are what makes it work, right? You always get your MacGuffin, but the dynamics, the interpersonal dynamics, are what makes a movie a movie. And they work it really hard. McKenna Grace is working as Phoebe, is working at both with her family and with the character of Melody. Very good stuff. Paul Rudd's character is continuously talking about family dynamics and trying to figure out where he fits into this modern style family, where he's not part of it, but he's part of it. Like, this is a space where anybody who's ever dated a mother, doesn't know where their place is, right? Where they belong dealing with the mom's children, right? I've dated a couple moms, and I've never ever been comfortable with what's my place with their children. Like, when the kid's doing something wrong, am I supposed to step in? Am I not supposed to step in? Should I say something? What do I do? And they address it a little bit in this movie. It's a real life thing that I was like, oh yeah, I know how that feels. The big bad named Garaka. He was very underserved in this movie. The character got info dumped hard with no build to what his scheme is. in Ghostbusters, we get a little tease up to Gozer. We get Gozer's minions. Like, oh, he's a bad dude. And this, we just infiltrate. Goraka's a bad dude. And that's it. And then all of a sudden, hey, Goraka's ready to go. He's on the loose. We don't, like I said, no build to his scheme. And another thing that made no sense to me was that Goraka was separated from his power source, essentially, in the movie early on. Before we meet him, he's separated. We see his power source elsewhere, and he's released, and then immediately has his power source. So that was kind of a dopey thing, right? There's no build to him getting the power source, no tease, and he be stopped before he becomes the big bad, like, kind of thing. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm the guy that figures stuff out early, and it's not like it was a hard secret. Like, I was kind of trying to figure out. I knew the secret weapon was going to be something in the movie. I just didn't have it pegged as the secret weapon. And then when I figured out it was the secret weapon, I was like, oh, what an idiot I am, right? But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I'll see it again. I'll see it a few times. Where does it fall into my list of Ghostbusters movies? I would wedge it in between Answer the Call and Ghostbusters 2. Maybe above Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 gets a little wacky for me sometimes. There's some wackiness in this movie as well. So it falls between it falls in the bottom three. And that's with putting Evolution in there. So it's above Answer the Call, but it's below Evolution. But yeah, that's my review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Please comment. Let me know what you think about what I have to say about it. And please feel free to argue with me. We'll have some conversations. Other thing is the Slimer bucket from Cinemark. If you are a grown-ass man with a grown-ass hand, you are going to make a mess if you try to use this thing in the theater. Just use the real bucket. When you get home, though, this thing's going to make a great pencil holder. Thanks for your time, guys. Check out the website, and I'll catch you on down the road. See ya. Bye.